Hello, guys. This is a reading for the collective. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. But basically, what I'm seeing, because of belief systems revolving around, it could be children, it could be around creativity, it could be around things that bring you pleasure. There is a sense of guilt that is being associated with these things, that is calling on us to have a higher level of spiritual and emotional maturity. Meaning it's not enough to have facts and data and spreadsheets. There's a human factor that's also involved. What level of spirituality is this person at? What are their life circumstances? How have they been wronged by the system? Or how have you been wronged by the system? Or does this belief system even work for me anymore? Does it work for my children anymore? Or is this just a rule that's put in place as leverage for the powers that be? That's what I'm feeling. The powers that be can be government, law, but it also can be parents, or just a certain control structure within the home or family environment. Okay? There's this sense that there needs to be a truce. There has to be some type of understanding, strength, compassion within these situations as they occur. Because we've had someone in these situations who's been much too controlling. Now, understand that in some aspects, the person may be very staunch, very unreasonable feeling, that kind of thing. But in their eyes, they feel as if they are guarding themselves, or they are protecting themselves, their home, their family, their children, whatever it is. And the problem is that they're stifling others through controlling or preventing change. And this is where we're at. This is what's going on in the collective right now. So again, let's pull in or draw in that sense of higher ethics. And I'm not talking about laws and rules. I'm talking about human decency, respect for human life, respect for each other's creativity, respect for what brings the other person pleasure, respecting the childlike essence within people without trying to stifle that and make them into something that they're not. Okay? Guilt does not help anyone. Guilt only serves to divide us. And there needs to be more of a openness as it relates to people being allowed to be who they are. It's going to make some people feel uncomfortable, but that is the process of growth. And parents, I'm saying this to you as well. Think about this. You may think that by controlling your children and keeping them from doing certain things, and I'm not talking about things like run out in the street and get hit by a car. I don't mean that. But I'm talking about what brings them pleasure, what makes them happy. You know, don't try to stifle that. Bosses, the same thing. Don't do this to your employees. You are severely limiting productivity as well as innovation. Okay? I'm just saying this could be in any aspect, anywhere, but that's what's happening here. It's causing a level of tension that people are being guilted about these things. And because the control is there, there's some sort of fated event that's coming. And this is coming in all directions. It's not just one particular person, place, or thing. We're all going to be experiencing this at some level. Okay? So sometimes what you think you're doing to protect yourself or to protect your children, for instance, may actually be stifling them and hindering them. And you need to be very mindful of that. What rules am I putting in place? And are they really relevant? Do they really serve the greatest good. And I use this little example. It's a dumb example, but if there's a person who's homeless and they go into a store and they steal some food, they just broke the law. That's a fact, right? That is a law. That is a rule that everyone basically understands that was broken. But on the human level, on the higher spiritual level, on the emotional, intelligent level, you are going to see this differently. You're going to see this as, okay, so first of all, there had to have been someone who was inside the store who noticed that this person was unable to feed themselves monetarily. Someone in the store had $1 to pay for that food, but they chose not to because they didn't want this homeless person around, right, to begin with, because it was a nuisance. And so they used the law to justify being cruel. So, for instance, just say this person's put in handcuffs and swept away. Well, still, nobody won because the taxpayers are paying for that. So there has to be a level of compassion in our rules, in our laws, that says, is this good for everyone? On a higher level, this person being taken away in handcuffs. Not everybody who is on the streets or unable to feed themselves is a drug addict or is lazy. Not all of them are mentally incapacitated. I'm just making up examples here, but you have to see this. Okay, so this person being homeless and not being able to feed themselves, did their family throw them out on the street? Where's the responsibility there? Okay, then you can go higher and you can say, okay, if this person is mentally incapacitated or is a drug addict or whatever it is, why are they on the street? Is there no place for a drug addict to go in my city? Is there no mental health facility available to assist this person? You see what I'm saying? It's a higher level of understanding. Just because there is a law and somebody broke the law doesn't necessarily mean the law is correct or that the person who did wrong is actually wrong to do the wrong thing they did, right? I mean, everybody has to feed themselves. You have to kind of put it in perspective. What if that was your child? Would you tell them, oh, you can't steal, you're just going to have to starve? No, you wouldn't, because you care about them. And that's where we need to be with society. We have to care about each other. So this kind of aspect is coming into play in the collective. We're trying really hard to control change or not allow change because of this guilt we have around these belief systems that have helped us to sweep things under the rug. And it's time to stop. Okay? And I'm looking at the bottom of the deck. Okay, first of all, I'm going to say with the Wheel of Fortune being here, there's some sort of change that's coming that is fated. So you can fight it all you want to, but it's going to come through. Okay, on your subconscious level, you already know that there are laws, rules, restrictions, that kind of thing that are not fair. They're not fair to everyone. Again, I can't say that enough, and I don't really know how to put it into words, but just because one person is wrong doesn't mean the other person is right. Okay, and that needs to be addressed as well, because that person who's justified can still be a very, let's just say, not a good person. And they were able to step on this rule to justify them. And this has got to stop. This is where we're having to really reevaluate. For some of you, you could be the person using these rules to keep somebody in line. But karma, fate, is saying this is not going to continue. Recognize this pattern. Anyway, the bottom of the deck is basically saying, if you want wish fulfillment, if you want this beautiful life, there's going to have to be more of a sense of equal give and take. Generosity even. To me, this very much talks about deep-seated traditions and rules that are hindering our society, not helping. And there's going to be some people that are going to be so adamant, yes, it is. No, it's not. It's not. Stop fooling yourself. It's fairness. And fairness is not always going to look good on a spreadsheet. There's got to be some kind of truce. We're going to have to maintain more of a sense of control, meaning of our own selves, to allow these changes to occur. Otherwise, things are going to be very miserable for us coming up in the near future. Transformations happening within families. I can see that, like your home, roots, stability, that kind of stuff. Those may be factors. But you're going to have to unloosen the shoestrings, so to speak. There's some things you're going to have to let go of for the greater good. And deep down, you know this. All right, guys. That is the end of the reading.